The Liverpool finalizes the departure operation on the deadline, Harry Wilson and Harvey Elliott, on the departure ramp. Liverpool is close to closing the transfer of quarryman Harry Wilson to Cardiff City. The Welshman played on loan last season at Bournemouth and before that at Derby County. He could not be found for Premier League teams during the summer transfer market, but there is still time to find him a place in the Championship. Harvey Elliott, close to going on loan to Blackburn Rovers. Both clubs are working to close the deal by 6 p.m. this evening. The transfer market closed on October 6, but the EFL, English Football League, still has time until this Friday, October 16, to make moves. In that sense, Premier League teams can also make transfers, but only if they come from the second division or lower, Championship, League One, League Two, never between teams from the English First Division. In the case of Liverpool itself, it closed the market with the signings of Kostas Tsimikas, Thiago Alcantara, and Diogo Jota. He sold Dejan Lovren, Kijana however, Ryan Brewster, and Ovi Ejaria, and also closed the transfers of Sheyi Oho, Taiwo Awoniyi, Loris Karius, and Marco Grujic. Adam Lallana left free at the end of his contract, as did Nathaniel Klein. The networks ended this period of transfers with €41.90 million in profits and €79.70 million in expenses, Transfermarkt data. Even so, the expense figures are not quite like that, as Liverpool will not pay a large initial amount for Diogo Jota, as the Wolves were flexible in that respect. But going back to the initial theme, Klopp's team will finalise the operation on the last day of the market in the islands, and the transfer of Harry Wilson to Cardiff City to Championship is very close to being closed, according to James Pearce in The Athletic. The Reds will receive about €1 million for the transfer of the Welsh, and Cardiff will cover all his salary. As Pearce himself explains, Liverpool wanted to sell Wilson but did not receive any offers that met expectations, so they did not want to sell him off. A few days ago, the networks rejected an offer from Burnley of some €13 million plus 3.3 kilos in variables. Michael Edwards, sports director of Liverpool, initially did not consider the option of another transfer, but once the international transfer market ended on October 6, the idea was reconsidered, as they could not sell Harry Wilson to any Premier League club that met the demands of the Anfield club, as there was speculation that they would want to get at least €20 million for the Welshman. Something they might be able to achieve next season if the striker plays regularly and revalues himself, something that would not happen if he spent the whole season on the bench, as he did not count for much to Jurgen Klopp. Derby County, Nottingham Forest, and Swansea City also bid for Harry Wilson, but only Cardiff City accepted the demands of the network club. Also, Neil Harris, manager of the Bluebirds, was instrumental in convincing the young winger. For Wilson, it may seem a step backward, since he already made his debut in the Premier League last season, and he was willing to sign for Burnley, but the idea of spending the season on the bench of Liverpool or playing with the U23 tipped the balance of Wilson to return to Championship and have prominence. In addition to the transfer of Harry Wilson to Cardiff City, Liverpool has officially closed the sale of Herbie Kane to Barnsley for about €1.3 million. The Championship team has shown great interest in the 21-year-old midfielder in recent hours. The Reds would reserve a 15% clause in the future sale of the player. On the other hand, Ben Woodburn, who was on loan to Oxford United last season but barely played due to injury, has already officially closed his departure to Blackpool. He is leaving on loan. However, for Nathaniel Phillips, they are looking to close a definitive sale. The Central, who was on loan to Stuttgart, returned in January, then returned to Germany and finished the season there. Also, Paul Joyce of The Times says that Harvey Elliott has agreed to join Blackburn Rovers on loan until the end of the season. James Pearce of The Athletic adds that the fact that Xherdan Shaqiri has finally stayed on hastened Elliott's departure so that he can play regularly, something he could not do at Liverpool right now.